110 years. That's the sentence that unleashed an international response demanding justice for Rogel Aguilera-Mederos. Many saying this sentence doesn't fit the crime, a devastating crash that claimed 4 lives on I-70 in Lakewood.
And their families ask that in all of our coverage, we not forget them. Doyle Harrison, William Bailey, Miguel Angel Lamas Ariano, Stanley Politano. Well, today's hearing was requested by a very unlikely source. It was requested by the prosecution.
Denver 7 political reporter Megan Lopez explains where the case goes from here.
That hearing was brief and mostly procedural, meant to set the date for the judge to reconsider that 110-year sentence for Rogel Aguilera-Mederos. Outside of the courthouse, there were a lot of protesters. Inside, a lot of questions about the legal precedent this case could set. Outside the Jefferson County Courthouse, dozens of demonstrators stood in the cold, wearing T-shirts, holding signs, demanding a different sentence for Rogel Aguilera-Mederos.
Even 20 years is ridiculous.
Support this situation because it's an affair. 110 years in jail for a guy just in an accident.
Protesting while just steps away inside a courtroom, Judge Bruce Jones, the prosecution and defense discussed next steps to change that sentence. Cameras weren't allowed to record that hearing, but in it, questions about the legal precedent this will set. That's because Judge Jones couldn't find any instances in the past where the prosecution requested an expedited resentencing instead of the judge or the defense. There were also questions about whether a resentencing would prohibit Aguilera-Mederos from requesting an appeal. In a press conference afterward,
this is an exceptional case, and it requires an exceptional process.
District Attorney Alexis King didn't take questions, but spoke about why she requested that hearing.
In finding its verdict, the jury recognized the extreme nature of the defendant's conduct, which warrants a prison sentence.
She's working with the families of victims and has come up with a new sentencing recommendation.
We will likely be recommending a sentence of between 20 to 30 years.
The families of victims,
nobody wants him to spend the rest of his life in jail,
say their voices are being drowned out from all the attention this sentence is getting. Dwayne Bailey's brother Bill was one of the 4 who was killed.
This last 2 weeks, I will tell you, rivaled the initial crash as far as emotional side. He's not the victim. This crash killed 4 people, and 4 good people.
He agrees with the 20 to 30-year sentence and says victims spoke with the governor recently about his involvement. His message to Governor Polis:
he needs to stay out of this until at least after that. And if he doesn't, I guarantee you he's bowing to political pressure.
The hearing is now scheduled for January 13th as both victims and the defense call for the judge to find a fair sentence. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
This case started gaining national momentum in the past couple of weeks, but it goes back years. Here's an in-depth timeline to get you caught up. The crash itself happened in April 2019. 4 people were killed in the 28-car pileup on I-70 in Lakewood. In October, a jury found Aguilera-Mederos guilty on 27 of 41 charges, including vehicular homicide. Nearly 2 months later, Aguilera-Mederos appeared before the judge with a tearful plea for leniency. He apologized for the loss, the injuries, and the trauma he caused, then said, quote, "But please don't be angry with me. I was working hard for a better future for my family. I have never thought about hurting anyone in my entire life." That same day, December 13th, the judge handed down a 110-year sentence. The judge said this would not have been his sentence if he had discretion. In the days that followed, a change.org petition surged in popularity. It is nearing the 5 million signature mark at this hour. Advocacy groups also came out to demand justice and a lighter sentence. Then last Tuesday, the DA's office announced it had filed a motion for the judge to reconsider the penalty, bringing us to today's hearing.